Hello, everybody. My name is David. I am the director of the Funkeys animated series, and this is my co-director,
Stick.
Stick. Yes, hello, Stick. All right, so we figured we would start this little series on the channel, kind of giving you updates on how the animated series progress is coming along, just so that you guys can get an idea of like how close we are to release, and then when trailers are going to be coming out, stuff like that. Because we are getting progress done, but we just figured we would just let you guys in on what's happening. One thing we won't be doing is like like showing clips of the actual series. We'll show you like some screenshots of progress and stuff throughout this series, like what we're doing and how progress is going. But it seems kind of pointless to show you actual clips of the series. Like, oh, we got a clip done. Here it is. If we just show you all these clips, eventually it'll just be the entire episode, and it just seems kind of pointless. And just might as well just wait till the actual episode comes out. However, figured we would do this. We'll do this once every other week and give you guys just an update of how it's going, what we got done within these past couple weeks, just to let you know how it's going. So the first thing we'll talk about is we'll talk about this club that we have done. So I'll throw a screenshot up on the screen. So this is just like an outside view of the club and how it looks and everything. So Stick and I kind of both worked on this model. So for the most part, I did a bunch of the spheres. So you got like the that front doorway. You've got most of the domes and stuff. But Stick helped out a lot with the club. Stick, you kind of want to talk about what you did?
The most recent additions are, we got the spotlights going around, we got the blue stripe, and what you're seeing probably right now is the cinematic test where we have the glow coming from the blue stripe. That was done in After Effects, and I'm gonna try to do like every shot that has this in there. We'll have that kind of glow in it. Do that in post. Maybe do a flare for the sun. I'm still testing with that. But overall, we're trying to make it look as cinematic and film like as possible. It's kind of my goal with this.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think this it put a lot of work. This took a lot of work, especially. Do you want to talk about the mountain range in the background?
The mountain range was the first thing I did. Well, not the first thing I did. The first thing I did for Funky's Town was the floor, the ground area. But after that, I started to do the mountain range, and that's just a lot of rocks. And modeling rocks is harder than you think because it's really hard to replicate what should be natural in 3D,
Right.
especially if you're using a ref that's only a single angle and you're trying to get it as accurate as possible.
Right, because you just
Then,
have we just have that overshot of the entire town. We're just like you
yeah.
just see it from the sky view. So we don't have a whole lot to go off of. And then even in the game when we're like going around the club, you don't really see the back of it either. You just see
Yeah, but we improvised a little bit there. We added a little chunk there for what's supposed to be an extra room.
right. We did the we just tried to think about what could be on the other side of what we can't see. We just kind of like, okay, so this is what it could possibly look like, and try to make it match the rest of the building. Okay, all right. So the next thing we'll talk about is this Angus doorway. So I didn't really help out a whole lot on this, but this was mostly Stick.
Yeah, that was actually really tough to get right because again, the ref was
Hold
a
on,
single
hold on,
angle.
hold on.
But
Start over. Facebook's deciding to notify me like five different gazillion times, and it's gonna
yeah.
pick that up. Right? Sorry. So, so this is the Angus doorway. I'll have Stick talk about this because like I didn't really help out a whole lot on this. Like I don't think at all. So, all credit goes to him.
Well, you gave me emotional support. So modeling this going in, I was not excited to do this, but I knew I'd have to. Um, it's really tough because again, we only have the single angle, and the windows are like really complex shapes. I don't even think I got it 100%, but I think
It looks
I
close
took my
enough,
best
and it looks. I
30.
think it looks good.
Yeah, I think in some ways it kind of looks better than the original. Not to give myself too much credit, but I love the texture on it. It looks the orange bit looks kind of rubbery, aged. I love the reflections on the windows, and there's supposed to be some stuff around that I still have to put in. But as far as what's already there, I'm really liking it. I
Yeah.
had to I had to try to recreate the window textures like in After Effects, and then put that in Blender and just try to recreate it, draw over it. So
Yeah.
it was complex.
It's really good, and then like all the stuff around it, too, like the trees and the grass and everything, look amazing. Here we go. Okay, so this is a overhead sky view screenshot of like what we've got so far, at least when it comes to this area, because we've got some stuff here and there in Funky's Town. You can see like this was before we finished like the Angus thing. So and also that there's like the old like version of the club. However, it does show you everything else. So that's why I kind of wanted to talk about the club and the Angus Manor doorway first, because those are what it looks like now. But this overhang, this sky view does show you like the layout of how everything does look. Sick, you want to talk a little bit about that?
The buildings here are. I took some liberties with this too, because in the actual game, if you see those doors there, the buildings are actually backward. The doors are supposed to be where it shrinks, like goes down at the end,
Right.
and there was no way I could do that and have it look one convincing and two good because I know we're gonna have a lot of close-ups on it. Some of these I actually changed the color a little bit to be like characters' houses and stuff. So I took some liberties, but overall, I forgot what I was gonna say there. But overall, yeah.
Yeah, I think it looks really really good, and I honestly really think it does capture what it looks like in the game, and it looks like Funkies. It doesn't look like, oh, this is an adaptation. This looks like Funkies. You even got like the Magma Gorge portal in the back. The flower looks amazing.
Oh yeah, I
Um,
wanted to mention the flower. I'm gonna send you a render of that so we can get a close up because I really like the flower. I hope it gets some.
okay,
So
I can just add it in.
yeah.
But yeah, and like I said before, we got the better shot of the club. That's a much better model than mine was. Um,
It's
but
about the same. I just lowered the poly count. And it's
yeah,
got the strip.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can try and get back into animating to help stick with a lot of this stuff because I know it takes forever. Um, and I'm trying to help out with everything else that I can. But yeah, you've got this, and this kind of segues into the next thing. So we've got this residential area, and within this residential area, there are a few scenes. That's why it's well, first of all, why it's modeled. Because we're not just modeling things that are like, oh hey. Um, we're gonna throw this in here so that way we can model the entire Funkies town because we can kind of work around like it's not like okay model the entire Funky town because there are certain scenes where it's like okay we don't necessarily need to have the whole thing modeled, we can just try and play with camera angles and try and hide it, stuff like that, just like little tricks. But
Yeah.
with residential area there's a couple scenes that take place here in the residential area. I think it's the second and the third scene that we have in our script, and it takes place in here, and so pretty soon we're going to be working on animating those two scenes and getting those out of the way. I think the third scene's like super short. I think it's like one line, something like that. And then so like a couple of these houses are actually we're gonna have like the insides too in a way. So we'll have one house be our main character Yubi, of course, and then our main character's best friend, who will be in I don't remember which house it was. Which house was Yubi's stick? I don't remember.
Yubi's is the pink one, and right in front of it is the friend's house, the right
The
one.
red one. Okay, fair enough. That works. Perfect. Okay, and yeah, so we'll be getting that out of the way soon. And while we're animating, we'll have to use things like skeletal rigs, which kind of segues into what we're talking about next. So the last thing we'll talk about is the skeletal rig. So,
You call them skeletal rigs. I gotta say that's pretty unprofessional.
okay, what
No
would you
diss. I'm
call
just
them?
saying. They're rigs. They're armatures.
They're armatures. Okay. Well, okay, so the armatures. So what our original plan was to go with the funky style that looks like sorry if I can speak. We were planning on going with the models that were pretty much identical as we could get to from the game. So the Funkies didn't have legs, and the reason why we're deciding to go with legs is because I had kind of brought this up when we first started the project, but we kind of all just voted on going with the original models. But we kind of there was a dev who got invited into the official UB Funkies Discord chat, and we got to talking, and he showed some screenshots of what could have possibly been a UB Funkies show, and they had legs, and it worked really really well. So we decided, hey, that looks really really good. So we kind of incorporated that into the animated series, and it actually works a lot better when it comes to animating wise because it makes it easier to animate.
It's just a lot. a lot easier and I think aesthetically a lot better. It takes some getting used to, but I like them. I like the cartoon designs.
Yeah, we both really liked the cartoon designs, and we're like, okay, this is what we'll go with. This will make our lives 10 times easier anyway, and it looks nice. It's not just trying to make our lives easier. It was not really killing two birds with one stone, but it was two positives, and it was like, okay, well, this is going in the right direction in both regards, so let's do it.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. Translating 2D into 3D is always, yeah, I always find that kind of stuff interesting. I always appreciate when something tries to go for a 2D style in 3D, and that's very much what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to give them kind of cartoonish poses, expressions, something that would look drawn, but made in 3D, because that's just fun. And that motivates me more to work on these because I like doing those.
Right. Okay. Well, that was just a little update video for you guys. So in a couple of weeks, we'll post another one just to keep you guys updated on how the project is doing. Just so you guys can get an idea of how close we are to come for this coming out. I would say on the animation side, I'd say we're like more than halfway done for at least for the first episode. So yeah, what we'll do is we'll post another update video in a couple weeks, and just kind of just let you know how it's going. And Sticky, you got anything else you want to say?
I don't think so. I'm just excited for the series.
All right, so am I. All right, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.